Yeah.
one thing, if you
Okay.
don't mind. Uh, Elon Musk.
Yes.
Okay. Starlink. You know, this satellite internet program.
We
They're
talked
really
about that.
big into
Yes.
it. It's their flagship product right now. I'd say, other
Mm.
than of course, their Teslas as well.
Mm.
I mean, Tesla's always going to be what they're known for, but this Starlink thing is blowing up right now. And there is new news. There was an internal email among people who were involved in the like beta of the Starlink. They did like a
Mm-hmm.
private internal beta where developers were able to use it to test it out. Now public finally get access to it now,
Mm.
and it's looking kind of good. So in an email, they said that the internet's gonna cost approximately $100 a month plus $500 upfront for the receiver, which is just like when you get satellite TV. Like a guy comes to your house and puts a dish on your roof,
Mm-hmm.
just like
Yeah.
that.
Same
Costs
thing
five
for
hundred
like paying
bucks.
like cable and like
Yeah,
adding all the wires and shit. Yeah.
right, exactly. So it's similar to that, a little bit more expensive, but it's
Mm.
a one-time expense of $500. And the speeds are as follows: approximately 50 to 150 megabits download. They did not mention upload, so I'm assuming it's about the same, maybe less. 20 to 40 millisecond latency, and you may notice it's pretty big, like gap. It all has to do with just basically where the satellites are. They call it the constellation, like where it is in its orbit.
Mm.
Literally, I mean, it's beaming the signal to a fucking satellite, so it matters. But also, most importantly, it really matters because during times when there is no satellite coverage, you don't have internet. You lose total access to the internet. There and they said in the email there will be times when you lose access entirely because we don't have the necessary coverage to give you internet at all times. I mean, that's a killer for me,
Yeah.
man. That
Yeah. Like
sucks.
yeah. For real. Like why? Like
Yeah, like seriously, like it's not ready. If that's the case, then it's not ready.
yeah.
And I
You
mean,
gotta
it
put
is a
some more
beta,
satellites
so
up there.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw something too that the estimated cost for this was, they say it's $10 billion. I don't believe that. It has to be higher. And I mean, even if it is higher though, even if it is 10 billion, like let's go with their estimate.
Mm.
How do they make money? Like
It's because
where
they
what is the
plan to
demographic?
Well, you see, you know how there's like the ISP monopolies that they've set up because it's not easy setting up an ISP business, right? That's why these
Right.
monopolies form, and there's the
Yeah,
East
it's a
Coast
natural
with
monopoly, right.
yeah, and so like there, finally there's some competition against these ISP monopolies. Maybe there people are tired of fucking Bright House or whatever it's called, Spectrum now, and
Yeah.
the other ISPs.
Comcast.
They want something. Finally, there's a hey, I can switch to Elon Musk Starlink shit because it's available in my area because it's going all around the world now. So
Do you think that that's actually going to happen? Because I mean, the price
if
is
it's
pretty
good
bad.
enough,
$100.
I think
It's not though. I don't think it
yeah.
is. I don't
I
think
mean
it's
not
there yet.
yet.
Because like,
All right.
if you look at the
If
speeds, I
it gets
mean,
better,
like, let's go with the highest speeds,
yeah.
just to be fair to them. But like, I mean, let's be honest, they're not going to be getting the highest speeds. Satellite
Mm,
internet is dog. I mean,
mm,
like, we like, no matter how good you have it, it's not going to be as good as fiber. It's just not made to do that. And
yeah.
I understand that that's not the demographic, right?
Mm,
They're not. If you have access to fiber internet,
mm.
you're never going to use Starlink. It's not for you.
Maybe
I get that.
also it's to these rural places where you have to pay people to like
Yeah.
set up infrastructure to get internet out there to your like these rural areas. Maybe they're
Yeah.
trying to target
I
those
accept
demographics.
I accept that they're trying to target that,
Yeah.
but I don't understand how it will ever be how it will ever be profitable.
Mm,
The whole reason that ISPs don't build infrastructure out there is because it's not profitable to
yeah.
do so. And this $10 billion investment allegedly
Mm,
into the Starlink constellation, I don't understand how in the in the short run that is ever going to be profitable. I mean, they may be cross subsidizing it with their other products like Tesla,
mm,
which okay, whatever, and maybe they're just trying to get involved in this space for some reason,
mm.
kind of like Facebook, they want to get involved in it as well. But I guess I don't see their evil plan really, and I'm curious to see where it goes. I think these speeds are pretty fucking bad. They're pretty disappointing. The price is insanely high. It's way too high for what it is, in my opinion.
Mm.
Periods of total disconnectivity. I mean, that's right
Yeah,
there
it's
is
a
a
turn
deal
off.
breaker for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cause like you're just like
and
it's fucking 11:30. Your fucking assignments
yeah,
due
you're
at
rating.
12 a.m. and
Yeah.
then boom, no connectivity for the next hour. That would suck. I mean, I already get mad when my fucking internet turns off for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, dude. It'll be like 4:30 a.m. and my router's like, this is a normal time where humans are normally asleep, so we're gonna update for 5 minutes. And I'm like, 5 minutes of no internet?
5 minutes? What
I'm
am I
gonna
supposed to
cancel my
fucking
fucking
do?
service. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
for
don't know,
real.
man. I think like it's interesting, and we've talked about this before because
Mm,
the Starlink thing, it's such a great idea in theory because like if you were doing it and you were like a philanthropist and you
mm,
actually cared about humanity, you would offer this service for free. And I
mm.
think that like in terms of product in terms of possibility to be good to humanity,
Yeah.
Starlink is actually a great idea. And it annoys me that Elon
Mm.
Musk is the one behind it. It's
Yeah,
a
it
very
sucks. Just
that it's a great
another reason for
opportunity that's
people
going to
to
be
simp
squandered.
over Elon Musk and be fucking
Yeah,
disgusting, sipping over a capitalist. But
exactly.
I think it's as Corona gets worse and worse in the United States again, we're seeing that like internet is becoming more and more of a right that people need. So hopefully we get
Absolutely
some
agree. I think
government
that
internet.
internet is like I don't
Government.
know how many human rights there are supposedly, but
Mm,
however many there are, the internet needs to be added to it. I think that the way the world is going, the way society is going,
mm-hmm.
you cannot participate in modern society without
Yeah.
internet access. I
Especially
think
because
that's
we were
just a
covering
fact.
a story a couple podcasts ago where we are talking about how there was this image of these young girls trying to do their schoolwork over like online, and they didn't have internet at home,
And it's
and they
Taco
had
Bell,
to
yeah.
go to like McDonald's and like sit
Yeah.
outside to catch a little bit of the hotspot.
Yeah, they're in the Taco Bell
Yeah.
drive-through, like
So
sitting on the side, and they're
yeah,
like 5-year-old girls, like
yeah.
cute as hell with their pink backpacks on, just sitting
Mm,
at a Taco Bell parking lot because they can't get internet. I mean, like that in
mm,
theory is the demographic, I guess, of Starlink, right?
yeah.
But
I mean, there's no way
as
that
to whether those
that
people will have
demographic can't even
access,
afford.
exactly,
Uh,
like that's too
yeah,
expensive for those people. The real demographic, in my opinion, is rich people who live in rural
yeah.
areas, like people who live on like big plantations and farms,
Mm,
where they're like they can't get fiber internet, but they're rich enough to afford Starlink. I
yeah,
mean, $100 a month and $500 installation cost. That's too much for
yeah.
normal people to afford. It's too much for me to afford. I pay for like $35 or $40 a month for my internet, and my speeds are as good as Starlink. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna have to get a lot better to convince people, especially with this. The told us it's a big turnoff. It's gonna have to
Yeah,
get a lot better.
I don't think that I think that it's limited. Like I don't think that they can do much better though. Like the speeds aren't really going to get that much better. I mean, even with total coverage and no disconnectivity at all. Like even if you have coverage 24 hours a day, it's never going to be fiber internet. So like their demographic is never going to be people who have access to fiber internet. I don't understand. This market is ever shrinking. Like over time, as fiber rolls out more and more infrastructure gets built,
Mm,
Starlink's coverage of the market is going to be lower and lower. I don't understand this endeavor. I mean, I
yeah.
don't know. I'm not a fucking tech guy, so it could be that I'm missing something obvious, but I don't understand it.
Mm,
So we'll probably bring this up again on the show. We'll see how it develops. We'll see what goes on. See if
mm,
it ends up to be a total failure or not. But maybe we'll be surprised. Who
yeah.
knows?
Maybe.